I founded the English Concert late in 1972, and we gave our first London concert in May 1973 for the English Bach Festival. I was especially interested at that time to develop the possibilities of what people call original instruments or authentic instruments. I realized that there were great possibilities and we had to get on and somehow find out what they were. I don't think I knew what they were at the time. It was a matter of constant experiment and opening of the mind to new ideas. We started out as a string quintet plus flute and harpsichord, and it was very difficult to find players who were willing to give up the time to go into the problems of the old instruments, but we did find that number who really wanted to dedicate themselves to finding out the secrets of these instruments. Gradually, as we went on through the years, more and more people became interested in this type of music making, and I think that the standard of playing of individuals increased remarkably within the first 5 years of the movement. Just as in the composition of Baroque music, we find that we have freedom founded on order, a very rigid framework with great possibilities for freedom above it. So that's reflected in the performance of the music. It's only through having established a highly disciplined approach to the music that then all the players can sit back in a most relaxed way. Ornamentation comes freely. We don't have to discuss usually about how should we do this trill or how should we do that little ornament or what type of articulation should we use here. Those things are established in the highly disciplined approach in the first place, and then comes the possibility of the greatest freedom and enjoyment of music making. And after all, that's really a most important aspect. Unless we can enjoy it to the full, the audience can't begin to. People sometimes ask me, what is my role as director of the English concert? Because in a concert they may see that I don't wave my arms around a lot. And as one Frenchman put it to me recently, is there some strange complicity between you and Simon Standage? And I like that way of putting it. We have an arrangement that Simon gives most of the leads to the upper strings. There's a very good reason for that. It's an extremely precise thing to follow, the bow, and so it's much better that he should do that than that I should give a beat with my hand. I tend to bring in low entries. But the art of direction is much more in the times before the concert and in the concert. A lot of direction goes on with the eyes and even with the mind. It doesn't really need to be a matter of giving beats. Almost anybody in the orchestra could conveniently give a beat to bring us in. We all know what speeds we're going to go anyway. It's possible that I've always been drawn to early music, as it's called. I remember when I was about 8 years old, getting highly excited about a piece of music I found, and I learnt it and I took it to my piano teacher. It was a piece by John Blow, and I remember she said to me, "Oh, you don't want to play that dull old stuff," which shocked me incredibly because I thought it was a great piece of music. And so it's quite possible that it's really in my bones. I must say that the early days of development were very difficult as we tried to find out the secrets of these instruments. Sometimes I wonder whether I would go through it all again. I suppose I would, because it's certainly been worth it. The English concert is primarily a virtuoso small orchestra and likes to play in that form. And I think it reflects within it the same aspect that I have to music, which is that one should be enjoying oneself while one's playing. The English concert comes first, and I always give that priority. The rest of my time is taken up giving solo concerts and also working with a number of different orchestras, usually modern instrument orchestras, both in England and abroad. That follows my belief that it's most important for there to be an exchange between the specialist early instrument playing musician and the musicians of more conventional background. But ultimately, it's the luxury of coming back to the English concert and sitting down with my family, as it were. That's wonderful. The whole basis of my musical training was at the choir school at Canterbury Cathedral between the ages of 7 and 13. And I couldn't recommend more strongly a start for any musician, because a great discipline is expected, and at that early age, 10 or 11 years old, you're expected to be a full professional. After I was at the choir school, I went on to play the organ, and I trained choirs. Then eventually I entered the Royal College of Music on an organ scholarship, playing organ and harpsichord. While I was there at the college, I wanted to give up the organ after about 2 years. I had a lot of work on the harpsichord. I'd started my Galliard harpsichord trio, which had a flute, cello and harpsichord. We were doing quite a lot of concerts. And I went to see the authorities and told them that I must give up the organ and concentrate on harpsichord and other related things. And they were most discouraging and told me that I could never earn a living as a harpsichord player. And they took away my scholarship money as a sort of punishment. But anyway, I survived.